right here is what we call the vertex form of a quadratic function. And I just showed that to you as kind of how a quadratic function is also defined. But it's called the vertex form mainly because the vertex, if it's written in this form, the vertex of the parabola is HK. So when it's written in this form, we can see that it's HK. But one thing I wanted to point out was that when it's in this form, A tells us if it's reflected over the x-axis, okay, if it's negative, and it also tells us the vertical stretch and shrink. Okay, the H, remember, H for horizontal, this tells us the horizontal translation. I just like to say horizontal shift. And then lastly, this K tells us the vertical shift. So this little straggler on the end is what moves it up and down, okay? All right. So here's another example. This is when we start doing more, well, we did this in the last chapter too, but when we have more than just one thing going on. It says, let the graph of G be a vertical stretch, so we know it's a vertical stretch, by a factor of 2, and a reflection in the y-axis. So I'm just going to do that. I threw a negative right in front of it because I know that it's negative f of x. So I'm just going to throw it in the front right there. Followed by a translation 3 units down. So k is negative 3 of the graph of x equals x squared. So I need to write a rule for G and identify the vertex. All right, so I started with x squared, and I need to do this first step. So this first step, I multiply it through by a negative 2, and then there's my function, negative 2x squared. And then the second step, I just subtract the 3 at the very end. Okay, so x squared, it went from x squared to negative 2x squared minus 3. Now, that doesn't look like it's in the vertex form at all. But if I rewrite this, I can say, remember this changed, so this is g of x equals negative 2 times x plus 0 squared minus 3. So when I rewrite it like this, it is in vertex form, and I know that the vertex is 0, negative 3. All right, so I want you to try this one. So go ahead and pause. All right, so the graph of G, let the graph of G be a vertical shrink. Okay, so again we have a times f of x by a factor of 1/2, so a is 1/2, followed by a translation 2 units up. So this is f of x plus k, where k is 2 units up. Okay, write a rule for G and identify the vertex. All right, so again, here's f of x is x squared. I multiply 1/2 to it to make it shrink, okay? And then I have it go up 2. And again, how do I write this in vertex form? Well, I have 1/2 x plus 0 squared plus 2. So my vertex is 0, 2. If I'm going too fast, you know you can slow down the YouTube video. And if I'm going too slow, you know that you can also speed it up. So hopefully that's an option for you too, if you don't like my pace. Okay, so this one, I'm not going to have you do an example, or I'm not going to have you do one. I'm just going to do an example. example of this one. And it's gonna take a little while. It's a little bit more involved, so I'm gonna do that example on the next video.